Disclaimer. For a bit of background, Independent Closet was started back on the blogger page of Decoded back in 2013, where I reviewed up-and-coming bands who didn't have the attention yet they deserved. In this case, I was contacted by the band Larusso to review their album due to the release of their new music video for the song Fever, which I will have a link for in the description below. I am saying this for the sake of transparency, but do not think that means I will go easy on the album. Hello and welcome back to Decoded, where we take your favorite content across all media, break them down piece by piece, and see what's left standing. I'm Keith Legion, and let's launch into today's Independent Closet review of Larusso's 2014 release, Life in Static. Larusso is led by its creator and longtime lead singer Aaron Condrat, who established the band in the mid to late 2000s in the Salt Lake City area, with a few other friends who unfortunately would later leave the project. This did not stop Condrat though, as he continued with a rotating cast of musicians, still continuing to release quality content over the next 5 years. It was not until the merging of the local bands Mess of Me and Larusso did the current lineup stand where it is, with Tyler Fizzy Grunstrom and Justin Trombetti joining the band as bass guitar and drums respectively. While Condrat does play rhythm guitar and vocals, as the music grew, so did its complexity, which called for the introduction of Nick Sashis on lead guitar. With the band completely assembled in its current state, a plethora of songs just ready to be recorded, and the fortitude to make sure they were at their best before release, how does Life in Static stack up with the big boys? Now in the press kits, there are a few different songs included, but going off the official singles, we can see that there are only 2 singles for Life in Static, the acoustic version of Chase the Sun and The Voice. Before we dive into The Voice, I'd like to offer kudos to the acoustic version of Chase the Sun. As it's not officially on the album, I have a hard time giving the album itself bonus points for this song, but it still has a great progression, instrumental performances, and emotive qualities that I feel the full band version sadly may have slightly squeezed out. Now in terms of The Voice.
I fell asleep in a...
If you enjoy bands such as The Starting Line, Yellow Card, The Latter Years of Blink-182, or any of that genre of band, this song will hit all the right beats for you. Condrat's vocals cut through the mix just enough to give you a clear understanding of the image he is painting across the instrumental backdrop, without hindering the instruments as the intro riff rings out with the constant cymbal taps. Then the song really picks up in the first chorus, as it's at this point that Trombetti's drums get huge in the mix, really adding diversity to the sound going forward in the song. The song is a perfect single, and it gives a great example of what Larusso can offer in this album without weighing themselves down in any preconceived notions from any other releases they have had. It's at this point I'd like to jump through a few of the standout tracks on the album, as to navigate any potential listeners to the songs that may strike the best chord with them. Yeah, we do puns here. Now this song had me cracking up a bit at first. Not due to the song itself, but the complete subversion of the title. I assumed this would be a fast and furious power-chorded Green Day song about skateboarding and having fun, a staple of pop-punk / 2000s alternative. But instead, it's one of the better acoustic tracks on the album, completed with a beautiful guitar solo before fading into a crowd that has been growing in presence ever since the song started. It has a very almost ukulele quality to the strumming pattern, which is relaxing and a break from the rest of the album that allows for Condrat to really show off his vocal prowess, with holding the melody on his back throughout the song. This is a great song, and I'd highly recommend it as a second listen for anyone looking to dive into their catalog.
Take a step back, I've got too much to say.
I found that sadly my happiest moments from this album are the slower, stripped-down moments. This is meant as no insult to Trombetti or Grunstrom, as they both do a stellar job holding the groove of the song and truly making it their own, but the piano ballad Take Me Away and the ending acoustic number, Chemical, were all very well placed on the album. It appears that as the album goes on, it shifts from this in-your-face pop-punk album to a more spirited rock album, leaving no stone unturned as Larusso is trying everything that they've ever wanted to do on an album, and for a majority of the time that works. The risks are very real in this album, and it would be very easy to just phone it in and say we're sticking to one type of song and one type of genre, which I respect the band for not doing. The album ends with a duet between Condrat and Grunstrom chanting, "I will become what I desire," with a steady snare roll and claps to bring the album to a close, with intimacy rather than a bombastic showpiece. This works perfectly and allows a listener to truly enjoy the subtleties of these music makers. In all, I would say Life in Static is a solid album that will bring in more listeners to this already great band. From its wide range of content to the amazing mixing, this album is very pleasing to the ear and something very easy to get so entranced in that you forget you're already at the final song. I give Larusso's Life in Static a high listen recommend. Search this out on Spotify or YouTube. Oh, you didn't think we were done, did you? Not by a long shot, as the guys from Larusso decided to save the best for last and start out 2016 with a shot of adrenaline straight to our hearts. Fever was released towards the back end of 2015, with the music video taking a few months to fully get produced, making its way to YouTube on January 19th, 2016. This song is a day-to-night shift in Larusso, and I could not be happy to report how great this song is. Most musicians, as mentioned in the last review for the Weekend album, have an issue with starting off soft and building upon that to crescendo to a big moment. While this may have been a tiny issue with Larusso during Life and Static, Fever shows the band is constantly evolving its sound as the song hits hard and doesn't let up. This song feels like a true rock and roll song, as the bass grooves along brilliantly in the background, enhancing the track's intense-driven feel. Then the bridge happens, which offers a breath of air for the listener before drummer Justin Trombetti himself grabs the mic and brings the song back to its intense finale with that scream. I highly recommend buying this song, as if this is any indication of the direction the band is heading, they are about to have quite the bright future ahead of them. Welcome back to Endslate. So I wanted to pose a question to everybody here. Are there any bands that you can think of or artists that maybe are independent or just don't have the press that they deserve? Leave them in the comment section below. I'll go ahead and check them out. Maybe we can make an episode about them. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, as it really helps us here. And of course, we always appreciate you sticking around with us. As you'll see below, there's a link to the actual Fever video. If you're on an iPhone, I'll put a card up in the right-hand corner for it, so you'll be able to access it. But again, we definitely appreciate you coming in, tuning in with us here at Decoded. Have a wonderful night.